All right, I thought I'd make a video just about some of the modifications I've done to my KLX300 and kind of what I'm most likely going to do for modifications this year. I like to do a little bit every year until I get it to where I want. First year I bought it, which was last year. This is a 2023 KLX300. I bought it last February, but it's basically a year old from when I took possession of it, at least. One of the first things I did was just I put a skid plate on, so I got the Ricochet skid plate on the bottom there. It's done a good job. And then it does a pretty good job of kind of covering the sides up a little bit as well. So if you tip it right over, hopefully you won't puncture your case. There's always that possibility. I would like to see someone come out with some case armor for this bike. And then I put on these Barkbuster jet handguards. And you know, before I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Before I did that, I replaced the bars with Pro Taper 7/8 inch bars, so the same thickness as the original bars, because if you get the actual tapering Pro Taper bars, you have to replace all the clamps and all this stuff. And I was like, well, you know, save myself some money and just do the original thickness. On other bikes I've never had any problems with just using the 7/8 inch thick Pro Taper Renthal bars. They're very strong. So the chances of you bending are very small, in my opinion. And then obviously I put the Pro Taper pillow top grips on here. I really like these type of grips. They're really good. I put these, I think they're called Power Mad mirrors on here. They're okay. I just wanted to get rid of the original clunky mirrors. They kind of serve their purpose. I can see okay through them, but I always do a shoulder check anyways when I'm riding. But it's nice to be able to see if somebody's coming up on you, coming up beside you, if you're not looking. They're okay. I think I'll get some actual mirrors again at some point, but I'll get some specific adventure style mirrors where they can fold in a bit. There's a type I had a while back. They're just kind of a no-name Chinese brand and actually worked quite well. I might just go back to those. And we've got our RAM mount. I really like the RAM mounts. This is the Quick Grip XL. Holds your phone in really secure. I only have good things to say about this mount. It's easy to get your phone in and out. All you do is just grab your phone, push and pull, and you do the same thing to get it in. Really easy. And it's very solid. It's not going anywhere. So there's that. I got the bigger tank for this bike. It is I'm trying to remember the name of the manufacturer that makes these tanks. Anyways, there's only one aftermarket tank you can get for this bike. This is a 2.7 gallon tank. The bike originally came with a 2.1 gallon tank, so it's not a ton extra fuel, but it gives you an extra 50 to 75 kilometers of range, which makes a big difference for the type of riding I do, where I go out for like the better part of a day out to the boonies. It's about an hour to just drive to where I'm going to ride, and then I ride around and then drive all the way back, and there's no gas stations out there. So it gets me there and back barely. I still take a fuel bottle with me or two, just in case, but I haven't run out of fuel yet. So I really do like this tank. The bike should have come with a 3-ish gallon tank from factory. That was a big mistake on Kawasaki's part, but what are you going to do? So I had to spend a bunch of money on that, and they're really expensive now. I'm glad I bought this when I did, because they've gone up by like $200 in cost. But I just put this dirt racks rack on the back. It's a Canadian-made rack. I wanted to support Canadian if possible when I got a rack, so I got the dirt racks rack, and they have a good reputation, and it's rock solid, so I'm pretty happy with it. And I sawed the back of the fender off, so the fender kind of came down to like here. And when you're off-roading, it's just going to get broken off at some point by hitting the ground or something. So I just chopped it off, moved the license plate mount up higher. And now, my license plate sits up high. It's still underneath the license plate light and everything, so it works good in that sense. Let's see, what else have I done? I put this windscreen on. I had an Adventure Spec mini fairing, and because they don't ship to Canada anymore, I wanted to get the one for the KLX300L that actually happens to just fit on the KLX300. So it'd actually be out to here, and it mounts on these the little bolts on the side of the clamps for the front suspension. So, but anyways, I had this universal mount. It doesn't work well on this bike because it blocks the instrument cluster, so I didn't like that. So I just took the plastic wind deflector and I bolted it onto the front. Yes, someone's going to get angry about that in the comments. Do whatever you want with your bike. This is my motorcycle, and I will modify it how I like. But anyways, I like it. I just spray painted it olive colored because that's all I had for spray paint at the moment. But I'll get some, probably just some gloss black spray paint and make it black to match the rest of the bike. I may make it high vis too, like a Kawasaki green or something, or have some sort of emblem on it that's Kawasaki green just for higher visibility. So other people can see me better when I'm riding. We'll see. But anyways, it keeps the cold air off me because I just went for a ride the other day in February, so it's cold out there. Keeps the wind off my chest. And what else we got? I think I've gone through everything. Future mods I'd like to replace the seat and get a seat concepts. Although this seat is very good for a factory seat, it's actually rather comfy. It's pretty squishy. You can kind of see that. And it's a little bit wider than your average dual sport seat as well. So it's pretty good. It's relatively comfy, so I'm not in any rush to replace it. My butt doesn't get sore unless I'm on a really long ride. I'll probably get a USB little charging port in here at some point, but not really high on my list because generally I don't really need to charge anything. And then I think what I'm probably going to do for this year is like my big bike mod is get a Delcovic 14-inch oval exhaust and put it on here. It plugs right into the O2 sensor, so it has an O2 sensor port on it, and it has a reputation for being relatively quiet for an aftermarket exhaust, so it won't be as quiet as this original exhaust, but it'll still be pretty quiet, which is good, but it'll also make the bike sound more throaty and nice, and it'll add, maybe I've seen people do dyno tests where it added 2 horsepower, just adding the exhaust on, and 1 torque, so we'll see if it'll add a couple horsepower and 1 or 2 torque onto the bike, which, on a bike that only has 24 horsepower, and I think it maxes out at maybe like 14 or 16 torque. That's a big difference. So make it a little bit more zippy, hopefully, and just sound better. So I'm thinking I might do that this year. Yeah, so it's been a very good bike. Just powerful enough. I could do with a little bit more zip, like I'd like a little bit more power, but I'm an experienced rider and it's fun to have just a little bit more power. I don't like amount where I can grab like fistfuls of power on a motorcycle because that's just a recipe for disaster. But I like to have a decent amount. Like I really like the amount my modded DR650 had. It had, I don't know how many horsepower, but it had some power mods and all that kind of stuff, and it's a pretty zippy motorcycle, and I felt like it was a good, well-rounded amount of power. But anyways, yeah, so really good bike, and just some of the mods I've done. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're doing to your KLX300, and yeah, thanks for watching.